I will never forget years ago, I was stuck in my patterns, stuck trying to figure out how to monetize my gifts, stuck in the same old routine, stuck in a dysfunctional relationship, stuck doing the same thing, hoping for a different outcome, total insanity, stuck in my logical mind, being a slave to all my considerations about life, stuck in my limited beliefs, scarcity mindset, and victim mentality. Stuck in my false identities. I'm not enough. Something's wrong with me. I'm all alone, blah, blah, blah. It felt so real. It felt so dark. It felt so lonely. And it felt comfortable because it was a pattern that had been playing out in my life for years. So if you're ready to get past your stuck patterns and take a quantum leap, you definitely want to listen to this podcast. Welcome to the Dr. Erin podcast. This is a top spiritual psychology coach podcast to inspire and teach you how to transform your trauma, birth your soul's purpose, and manifest your dreams. Hi, I'm Dr. Erin, Doctor of Divinity. I'm committed to bringing you the best coaching tips, spiritual advice, trauma healing, and metaphysical recovery secrets. I'm here to help you monetize your spiritual gifts and love your life. I want you to know that I've been exactly where you are, and I believe in you. Together, we're awakening the world. Hello, my divine community. I'm super excited to spend this moment with you, getting our mind right, because each week we come together, knowing the truth and living on spiritual principles to really, truly embody the highest version of our consciousness so that we can experience the most out of life. So yes, I remember being so stuck multiple times in my life. I think it's a pattern that we all get into. And today I want to break on down, I think, a very, very important distinction for ourselves and for our clients, if you're a coach, or even if you're just a leader in life, or whether you're talking to your best friend or a family member, because everyone gets stuck at some point in time because we're the backing of energy. We're here directing energy upon universal law, upon the subjective mind for specific manifestations and demonstrations. And so, of course, there's going to be times when we're stuck and times that we're in flow. So let's break this on down. So yes, I remember back, I was super stuck. I remember being in a place where I was like, what is wrong with me? I was literally in a dysfunctional relationship. I had been doing my spiritual work for so many years, and yet I was not monetizing at the level that I wanted to, right? I was stuck in the same habits. I was still hanging out with people that weren't totally in my bliss. There was just old patterns in my life. Everything felt wrong. It just felt like I wasn't living the life I was designed to live. And so I'd been stuck for quite some time. And of course, as we know, getting our mind right is the most important. So of course, I began to try and meditate, but sometimes when you're stuck, it's hard to even get into meditation. But I was like forcing myself to go within. And so one day in meditation, I had a divine message that changed everything. And the message came through like this, as a knowing: until you're willing to change, nothing will change. Until you're willing to change, nothing will change. And I immediately thought of that taboo saying. There's like a little actual picture that we've seen online for years. It has a chalkboard. And on the chalkboard, it shows two circles, and it shows one circle of comfort zone. And then it has an arrow that goes out into another circle. It says magic happens out of your comfort zone. And I knew I needed to make radical change. So what did I do? I did the most uncomfortable thing I could think of. I changed my entire life. I literally let go of that terrible dysfunctional relationship I was in. I gave away almost everything. I sold like a majority of my belongings, and I moved to Los Angeles. I had been doing tons of work. I had had many successful things. I'd already become a self-made millionaire, but I was miserable inside, and I was so stuck. And we know that money cannot buy you happiness, right? I was in a place that I knew I needed to make radical change in my life. And so in other words, I committed to myself and my dreams. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was sick of myself, my excuses, and my patterns, okay? Knowing that I had gone through this multiple times before. I had gone through quantum leaps and made radical shifts before in my life, but this was just another one of those moments, right? However, I was afraid. I was scared. I was worried about the unknown, right? I didn't know how I was going to find a place to live. I didn't know how I would heal from my dysfunctional relationship. I didn't know how I was going to monetize my dream career. I didn't know how. And so I realized in this quantum leap, in this, place of going to a magical potential, I knew I had to give up one major thing. I had to give up how. So that meant I had to commit to living in faith. And we know in a quantum physics realm and a metaphysical standpoint, faith is believing in the unseen, the ability to move substance with mind, the knowing that whatever I focus my conscious on will expand and demonstrate and form, the mental equivalent, right? Faith is for us the belief that the universe is working for us and not against it. It has to be, right? So it wasn't easy, but it was way easier than staying stuck in my old patterns, right? So what did that take? That took a lot of courage, right? It took a lot of getting uncomfortable. It took a lot of that. And I had to give up my home, my comfort. I had a 7,400 square foot home. I had to give up being comfortable in a place where I knew a lot of people. I had to give up, the relationship that I was in love with somebody that was very, very not well, and either was I, right? I had to give up everything. And this is what it takes, right? The magic happens out of the comfort zone, okay? So from a quantum physics perspective, the term quantum leap refers to the abrupt movement from one discrete energy level to another with no smooth transition. So what happens in an energetic quantum field is that when energy is taking a quantum leap, it literally doesn't go from one realm to the other. It leaps instantaneously with no time gap, right? With literally an abrupt, no smooth transition. There's nothing discrete about it. There's no reasoning about it. There's no measurement about it. And this is what it looks like to take a quantum leap. So oftentimes we will be in a breakthrough session, right? So I have some breakthrough sessions I do on Wednesdays sometimes, and we'll have a handful or maybe 50 people in the call because we don't do any ads, or we just randomly do them. And what's interesting is there's some incredible, beautiful people that come on these calls with big dreams and lots of suffering still going on. And oftentimes you'll feel it in their consciousness. Like if money was of no object, they would definitely come in and have, mentor and a community and support and learn and grow at a quantum level. But they're so afraid. They're so afraid of letting go of money or getting out of their comfort zone, or even knowing that they don't believe that they deserve to have that level of support. And I remember it so well. I remember one time I was so stuck. I was so frustrated. I could not figure out how to monetize my gifts. It was actually after this quantum leap. I had some clients and things, but I could not figure out how to get to the next level. And I remember for some reason I would invest in things about my consciousness or spirituality because I'd been doing that for a long time. But there was something holding me back from actually investing in a business coach. Like I just felt like I didn't deserve it, or I felt like I should be able to figure out this without having an actual coach. And I remember I would go to many free, events, teachings online. I would be kind of stalking people through their funnels, but I wouldn't actually believe that I'm worthy, or that I really felt afraid of giving up that money until one day. And it was really scary for me. I remember the first coach of a business coach I spent $3,000 on. Is back in the day. It was before, all the line. I had to wire the money. Like I had to go to the bank and wire the money. And I remember it was so uncomfortable for me. But I remember the day that I actually finally wired the money. And there was something that happened energetically in taking that risk and letting go and just the faith of it. And I remember walking down the street after I was actually walking back to my place from the bank, because I could walk to the bank. And I was walking back, and there was some kind of knowingness of my success. And it was actually just in the energetic field of knowing of the exchange of releasing that money and believing that I was worthy of receiving money as a coach. as a doctor of divinity, right? As all that, right? I hadn't become a doctor of divinity yet, but as I had become a leader, I had been studying for years. I've been doing all kinds of things, right? So in that, this is the quantum leap. This is the quantum leap. So no matter where you want to take that quantum leap, wherever you're ready to have magic, right? Have magic in your life. Your magic is in outside of your comfort zone, right? There's a quote here that states, we have to be honest about what we want and take risks rather than lie to ourselves and make excuses to stay in our comfort zone. And that sums up me. I would lie to myself. You know what? I can do it myself. I don't need to get support. No, I'll figure it out. It's no big deal. I'm okay with not making that much money. It's okay if I kind of struggle for the next 3 years trying to figure this out, right? I was lying to myself. I was lying to myself, and especially lying to myself to thinking that, wow, how am I going to get high end ticket, clients when I'm not willing to pay for a high end coach? It makes no sense, right? It makes no sense from an energetic pattern perspective. We teach the vibrational match. We teach the mental equivalent. We teach that consciousness creates, and that wherever your consciousness at is exactly the life that you're going to create for yourself. So how in the world would I think that I am worthy of having clients that want to pay me easily, abundantly, when I'm not willing to pay easily and abundantly? It makes no sense, right? It makes no sense. And this is where we have to look at universal law. So each week in society, in our community, we embody a universal law because we understand the power of getting our mind right, reprogramming our subconscious mind, and aligning to how energy works in the universe, right? The source created that way, which is the source of who we are. And so in this, we want to take a look at not just this week's universal law, but the law of what we call supply and demand, or the other name for it is emergent evolution. So we believe in that there's only creation. That is the power of mind that creates instantaneously. And that's the quantum leap. It's the creation of deciding I am worthy. I am abundant. I am a leader. I decide today. And in that, knowing whatever that takes. And so in this, the moment that happened for when I had to let go of that money to hire a coach, right? There was a supply and demand. I said, from a subconscious perspective, right? I decide that I am going to be somebody who is a leader that absolutely monetizes my dream career. And this is where the emergent evolution happens, okay? So creation happens with first cause, source, spirit, that part of you that decides the volition that you have, okay? The evolution is what's created out of that, okay? So this is emergent evolution. Make a new declaration for your life. Make a new declaration for your life, right? During evolution, upon demand for life to prevail, there emerges new properties. For example, the fifth finger emerged out of a necessity for survival. Form transforms upon the insistence of consciousness, right? So when you demand, like, hey, I demand that I am going to monetize my gifts, and you demand that, and you pay for a coach, or you do whatever it is, you move, or you do something that is a commitment to yourself and to your dreams, you have to rise to that. That demands consciousness to rise, right? When an individual demands and commands the subconscious and subjective mind, universal law is set into motion. This is what we do when we do scientific prayer. This is what we do when we do affirmative mind treatment. This is what we do when we do spiritual mind treatment. We demand, we declare upon the subconscious mind. The creative process begins with a belief in mind, which sets polarity into motion. So if I believe right now that I am worthy of being a leader. I'm worthy of teaching this divine truth. I'm worthy of monetizing my gifts. This actually sets the polarity of universal law into motion. Evolution is the result of this polarity in physical form, right? The evolution is, who do I need to become in my skill set, my mindset? That's after. That's the evolution of who I am. Individualization is the eternal impression upon mind And what informs universal law? Evolution is the outcome of the law in motion, which affects the elements and chemical reactions, right? So when I decide I'm no longer staying in my comfort zone, I'm no longer staying mini me, trying to do it my little individual way that's not getting me any real radical results. I decide and I put myself totally out of my comfort zone. I move. I decide I'm going to write that check for $10,000 for that coach. I decide that I'm going to, completely let go of that old comfort zone of that position, that job or something like that. And I'm never telling anybody to do, but let's just take an example. Okay. I say I'm done. I give my resignation, right? We have many people that have traditional jobs that decide, am I going to do it slow? Am I going to do it fast? Am I going to take a quantum leap? Doesn't matter, whatever it is, it's a decision in mind. The outpicturing after that is the evolution. For one person, it might be an evolution of transitioning out of that position. For another person, it's going to be a quantum leap of it's completely done, it's over, and I'm taking this quantum leap, right? There's not one better or worse, but it's still the decision in mind that decides, okay? It's the decision, whether you are ready to, get out of a dysfunctional relationship or you decide I'm done with the dysfunction. One evolution might be that it ends up healing itself and you stay in that relationship. The next evolution is that they actually, part their separate ways, right? The decision, the quantum leap is the decision. The evolution is whatever outpictures out of that. Okay. So today I want to ask you and have you ask yourself, where are you ready to get out of your comfort zone? Where are you sick and tired of being sick and tired and being in your stuck patterns, going around and around in circles and never getting the real results that you actually want to experience? And you're the only person that can lie to yourself. You can pretend and say, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. Yeah, I got it figured out. But the reality is that we lie to ourselves. Imagine if you were your number one client, your number one coach, right? You are that. And you want to get yourself radical results. You want to get quantum leap. You want to get extraordinary life. Like 10xing your income, 10xing your support and your team, 10xing your social media, 10xing your experiences, 10xing your incredible circle of friends and family. Who do you need to be? What do you need to give up? Like, give it all up. We're so afraid of letting go of things that aren't even working. Like, just because of the fear of the unknown, it's no way to live. It's no way to live. So in this, I know right here, right now, of awakening who you are, the divine within, the oracle within, that you are ready for a metamorphosis, right? Just like the butterfly, you're ready. You're ready to break into a new life. You can't even imagine it. It is time to demand what you desire by declaring into your subconscious mind and impressing upon universal law. This indicates that you're unclear in your consciousness. And when you're ready to be conviction, to have total conviction in your heart, to say, it is today, it is now, I am done being sad and depressed and playing into this conversation of mini me and victim me and poor me. And it is just done in this divine moment, taking a deep breath in and exhaling out. I know by the power of my word that I decide that I am enough. I am the divine. I am the universal divine expression of the one. And that my greatest to do is to experience the depths of my soul expressed, fully healed, revealing who I am. And I deserve the greatest life. I deserve the greatest support. I deserve incredible coaches, incredible team. I declare right now that I am a leader. I am a world-renowned spiritual leader. I know that for every single person listening to this podcast right here, right now, I know that you have a calling. You would not even be in my universe if you did not have divine calling. And in this, I say yes to you, that every single one of us together collectively, we are the change, we are the shift, we are this consciousness rising and thriving in truth. As together we say, and so it is. And in this, I know that the magic happens outside the comfort zone. May you release the comfort zone. May you get so uncomfortable that something emerges in you The demand in you comes forth. May you get so far out of your comfort zone that you demand yourself to rise as who you are, absolutely experiencing parts of yourself you never even knew were possible. And so in this, I say, yes, if you are ready, you're ready to really, really embody metaphysics, universal law, spiritual psychology, past life regressions, E4 trauma method, all the things that are such powerful, powerful, powerful distinctions. And you're ready to understand all the skill set of business and money mastery and being able to master your relationships, releasing dysfunction and codependency. If you're ready, I invite you. I invite you to take a quantum leap and reach out today. You can DM me, you can DM my team, you can come on the website on Society. Say yes without all considerations. Okay, say yes. Take that uncomfortable leap. Okay, this is your life. You are important. Your message is important. Okay, I love you so much. I hope you have the most amazing divine day. And I hope you listen to this and share this with your friend. And please, will you please give it a testimonial? I'm not testimonial, a review on iTunes if you're on there, or Spotify, or wherever you are. It'd be really, really helpful to get this work out. Okay, I appreciate you. And this is bringing value to your life. And please, it's a reciprocal thing. You need to give value to places that give you value, okay, to people that bring you value. I love you so much. May you live your truth and have a beautiful, blessed day. Thank you for tuning into the Dr. Erin podcast. If you're ready to reprogram your subconscious mind, transform your trauma, and birth your soul's calling, or if you're ready to become an accredited, certified spiritual psychology coach and E4 trauma method facilitator and get trained in spiritual psychology, universal law, intergenerational trauma work, past life regression work, metaphysics of mind, and so much more, go to soulciety.com or drerin.tv. If you're receiving value from the show, I would love it if you share it with a friend and give it a 5-star review. Also, you can join me in one of my live free trainings. You can find it right on the website as well, or in my bio link across all social media. I'm drerin.tv across all platforms, drein.tv. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth.